Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you all my Chantecaille favorites. These are my must-have products from Chantecaille. I wanted to show you this Get Ready With Me style in anticipation for their Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale that is coming up. So the sale doesn't start till November 23rd, but Chantecaille reached out to me and gave you guys early access to the sale. So the sale for my subscribers starts on November 19th. And if you use the code LISA25, that will get you 25% off absolutely everything from Chantecaille. And I did make sure that all the Philanthropy products are included in the sale as well. So absolutely everything is going to be 25% off, which I am so excited about. So this video is not sponsored by Chantecaille, but they did reach out to me to give me this code. So I wanted to show you guys all my must-have Chantecaille products, my favorites, and I wanted to show them in action. So I'm going to be doing this video Get Ready With Me style. So if you want to see all my favorite Chantecaille products, just keep watching. Now this sale does include their Philanthropy products. I double checked with Chantecaille because sometimes they exclude them from their promotions, but this will be included. I am so excited because one of my absolute #1 favorite products from Chantecaille is their Philanthropy Eyeshadows. So this is the Luminescent eye shade in the shade Lion, which I am starting out with. This is absolutely beautiful, and if you have not tried their Luminescent eye shades, I don't necessarily just recommend the shade Lion. I have a few other ones. I have the Cheetah, which I really like. It's just champagne color. I have the, oh my gosh, I think I have almost all of them, but Lion is just my absolute favorite just because it is a bronzy gold, and those are just my favorite tones. If you are not new to my channel, I like a neutral eyeshadow. Just look how gorgeous that is. It is a metallic eyeshadow, but it is the most sophisticated metallic eyeshadow. If you're someone that doesn't really like shimmery eyeshadows like me, but you want something for like an evening night out that's really sophisticated and elegant, this is absolutely beautiful. It just looks gorgeous on absolutely everyone, so I absolutely love this shade. It does have a little bit of intermittent shimmers, but it's not chunky by any means. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to start off with this shade, and I'm going to take it on a Sonia G. This is a Builder 2. So you can use these shadows wet or dry because they're baked gelée eyeshadows, so they can be used wet or dry. If you use them wet, they're going to be a little bit more intense in pigment, and they're going to go on a little bit more smoothly and kind of give less of that metallic shift. But these are beautiful. They are multi-dimensional eyeshadows, so when you apply one of these shades just onto the eye and blend it out into the crease, it looks like you've applied more than one eyeshadow. Because again, there's so much dimension to it. The shimmer particles in it reflect like shades of champagne and gold, and it's such a beautiful eyeshadow. And especially this time of year, this is an eyeshadow I literally use for any special occasion that is coming up in the holiday months. This is my go-to holiday eyeshadow, especially because it is a neutral bronze tone. It definitely has some warmth into it, like it does bring out the blue in my eyes. But I really like this because it is neutral in tone. So if you're someone during the holidays that likes to wear a red lip, this will pair really well. And I absolutely love it. But one of my other favorite shadows from Chantecaille that is also like one of my must-have products, I actually do have a backup of this product because I'm scared to go without it. And actually this Luminescent eyeshadow, this is a shade that I have gone through completely, and I have bought another one. That's how much I love it, that I actually used up a full eyeshadow of this. But this next shade is the Chantecaille Mermaid Eye Color in the shade Copper. So this is different from the Luminescent eyeshadow because this is almost a powder to cream eyeshadow. When you feel it, it feels like a creamy powder is how I could describe it. And when you apply it onto the eye, it applies like a powder product. Like it's easy to apply, but it melts into the eyes like a cream product does. And it's so beautiful. It is such a smooth shimmer. So this one isn't quite metallic. It's more of that very beautiful shimmer, but this one doesn't have any shimmer or any intermittent shimmer particles, so it is not chunky at all. There are no glitter flecks at all. This is very smooth and a very refined shimmer. So this is something that I use like when I'm going to work or if I'm going to a lunch. This is just a beautiful everyday eyeshadow because it is so subtle in its shimmer, but it does pack quite a punch in its pigmentation. Like it's definitely not sheer pigmentation. It definitely does have quite a bit of pigmentation, but it's just so smooth and so beautiful, and just how it looks on the eyes is absolutely amazing. So this is one of my other favorites too. So I actually love to layer these together. So I'm going to take a little bit of this Chantecaille Mermaid Eye Color in the shade Copper, and I'm going to place it right over top of that lion shade. And the two of these together just make the most beautiful shade. And I love one and done, so you could use these by itself just without anything else, but I like to layer them. And I just think that that is the most gorgeous two and done eyeshadow. It's phenomenal. And then I'm also just going to take one of their eyeliners. This is the Chantecaille Luster Glide eyeliner in the shade Jasper. So you guys actually, during their last Black Friday sale, some of you mentioned to pick up these eyeliners because you really, really love them. So this is a recommendation from you. And it is really nice. They're really pigmented eyeliners, but they're really creamy. So these eyeliners are very buttery. They're very creamy and very pigmented, but they do blend out. And I like them on the top lash line because I find that they wear a long time. I don't love these in my tight line. I usually reserve my Hourglass eyeliners for the tight line just because I do find these smudge ever so slightly. I don't know if they claim to be waterproof. It just says it's a glide eyeliner, and that's what I find. It glides onto the eyes very beautifully, and you can smudge them out. So I'm just going to take this flat definer brush, and I'm going to smudge that eyeliner in because I like my eyeliners to be a little bit more lived in, a little bit more smudgy than like a precise eyeliner. I'm going to take these two eyeshadows again, and I'm going to take a little pencil brush, and I'm going to mix them back and forth just on that pencil brush, and I'm going to run that across the lower lash line, starting at the middle and then just going to the inner corner, and I am going to meet it to the outer corner as well, just so we have a little bit of those shades on the lower lash line as well. So I just went in with the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. Now I do want to chat about this mascara because I know for a lot of you this is your holy grail mascara. So many of you have mentioned that this is your #1 mascara. So of course I recommend picking it up during the sale because I would honestly stock up on it if this is your favorite mascara. For me personally, I don't think this is worth the money, and I would only purchase it during a sale just because I feel like a lot of my mascaras do this same effect. Like I think my lashes look beautiful. They look separated. They have a beautiful amount of length. They're not too volumized where they look spidery or anything like that. Like I think it is very, very beautiful. But I also think that I can get the same type of effect with my YSL mascara or my Gucci mascara, and the price is just less than this mascara. But I think, of course, if you do really like this mascara, then I recommend it. But for me personally, I just have other mascaras that I would repurchase first. And for full disclosure, this mascara was sent to me, and I probably would not have purchased it myself. Being totally transparent, I think it's really beautiful. I just think there are other mascaras that do a very similar job. But I did want to show you what that mascara looked like, but of course I always give my honest thoughts on my channel. I'm going to move to the skin, and this is another one of my absolute holy grail products. I am going to share my top 3 products, and I can't remember if I said that, my top 3 to 5 products at the end, just so you, obviously I don't think you're gonna all go out and buy a full face of Chantecaille makeup, so I do want to, at the end, just list my top 3 to 5 favorites, so that you know kind of what my absolute must-haves are. But I'm going to go in with the Chantecaille. This is the Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint. I love this product, and it's something I don't really use a lot on camera, I think just to save time. But I absolutely adore this product underneath the eyes, so I almost use it as a concealer primer. You know how we have face primers? I use this as a concealer primer. So what it does is this slight pink tone brightens my under eye area, and it slightly color corrects so that I don't require as much concealer over top. It slightly blurs that area, which is so unique because it has a tiny bit of a sheen to it, but it does really blur the under eye area just so I don't require as much concealer over top. I absolutely love, love, love this product. You can see how much I have gone through. It's almost gone, so I'll need to get a backup soon. And then I'm not going to go in with an actual primer, but you could use this Chantecaille Anti-Aging Face Tint in the shade Sheer Bronze. You can use this all over the skin, kind of as a face primer, or the way I like to use it is actually as like a foundation replacement. It has such sheer coverage. It almost just, it really does tint the skin, but it really blurs and perfects the skin. So it adds this filtered effect quality over your skin, so you don't actually require foundation over top of this product. It is absolutely one of my favorite products, and I don't know if you can tell, but I am nearly done this. I think this is currently out of stock on the Chantecaille website, which I am upset by because I really wanted to pick up a backup during the sale. So sometimes they do have products that do come back into stock during the sale, so I'm going to keep my eyes out for this one. because I love this. So you can use this as a primer. You can mix this in with a foundation if your foundation is too light. So I have the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation in the shade Vanilla, which is too light for me. So what I like to do is mix a little bit of this anti-aging face tint in with this foundation so that it's more my color. Or you can use this over top of your foundation as a bronzer. I kind of just wanted to go over this product because one of my subscribers, Lisa, did say that she was kind of struggling to use this product. So that's how I would use it. But I can show you in a video if you want to see how all the different ways I would use this product as well. But just for time's sake and because I'm talking about my must-have products, I'm going to move along. So I am going to go in with the Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation, but I'm going to take the shade Cream. So Chantecaille did actually send me the shade Cream, which I'm very thankful for because if you can tell, my shade Vanilla is nearly gone. I have almost used up this entire jar. And the shade Vanilla is a slight bit too cool toned and too light for me. The shade Cream is a little bit too deep for me. It works when I have like a fresh self-tan, but as I'm nearing the end of my self-tan, then yeah, it's a little tiny bit too deep. But honestly, I feel like this shade just works a little bit better for me than the Vanilla shade. So I want to thank Chantecaille for sending me this because I was going to purchase this during the sale, but now I don't have to. So what I like to do is take a little bit of this product and I like to apply it to the palm of my hand. And I'm going to take the Shiseido brush. I really like this foundation with a brush because it is a gel foundation. And I find that it just applies better with a brush. I find that if you use a beauty blender, I have my beauty blender somewhere, I find that it just kind of absorbs too much of the product. So a brush is really going to get you your best bang for your buck with this product. And I just like to apply it all over the skin. So this foundation is particularly beautiful and one of my holy grail foundations. So I actually, in the past year, I have gone through this, well, almost gone through this Vanilla. That's a goal that I'm going to finish this for the end of the year because I would like to put this in my empties. And I've also gone through another of the Vanilla shades last year. And then I went through the shade Porcelain as well because I bought that shade to lighten up foundations. And I went through that completely. So you can tell that I like this foundation. It's something that I have repurchased over and over. I personally repurchase over and over, and I do purchase it in different shades because that's how much I love this foundation. And this foundation is particularly beautiful in person. So I love this on a daily basis. It's a great everyday foundation, and it's a beautiful, like I said, in-person foundation because it's the type of foundation you cannot detect on someone's skin because it has such a skin-like finish. A lot of the time, light coverage foundations have a more dewy finish. And when foundations have a dewy finish, that's not a very skin-like finish because obviously dew on the skin or something that's very hydrating on the skin doesn't particularly look like skin. It just looks very hydrating, so it looks like you have a product on your skin. So this doesn't actually have any radiance to it or anything like that. It has, and it doesn't have even a satin finish. I would say it dries down to a velvet skin-like finish. So it doesn't leave you overly hydrated or anything like that, but it really, really looks like actual skin. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty remarkable of a product. So I absolutely recommend this product if you are looking for something that looks beautiful in person, that looks beautiful up close when you're one-on-one next to someone. If you're going to be at an outdoor event, this is the type of foundation I would recommend as well. This is definitely a light coverage foundation. I don't even think you could build it to medium coverage. But this is my personal favorite just because I do like a lighter coverage and I just like it for its skin-like quality. Like it doesn't look like I have any product on my skin. It's pretty amazing. So this is the Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation and highly recommend checking this out. This is just gorgeous. Let's chat concealer. So Chantecaille doesn't have my favorite under eye concealer. Let's chat concealer. So personally, I have to use an additional concealer with Chantecaille's concealer. So I'm going to take my Surratt Dewdrop Concealer in the shade 4, and I'm going to apply that under my eyes. Like I said, I'm not just going to use a product if I don't absolutely love it. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. So I really love the Surratt concealer on my under eyes, so I'm going to apply that. But Chantecaille does have this, the Camoflauge Stylo, which is an anti-fatigue corrector pen, which I quite like under the eyes. However, I would say that this is not a necessity product unless you're someone that doesn't have very dark under eye circles. Like say your main concern is like the redness in your skin, but you actually have really great under eyes, like you don't have very dark circles, it's not a concern for you, you can go in with a really lightweight concealer, you barely need concealer. For me, that is not the case. I have quite dark under eye circles. That is my main concern when it comes to my skin. So for me, this type of product is not enough. So I will require an additional concealer underneath, which is why I really like that Surratt pencil. However, this Chantecaille Le Camoflauge Stylo, I have mine in the shade, I think it's number 2. It doesn't even say the name on here. I think it's in the shade 2. Oh, the shade name rubbed off, so that's very convenient. I believe it's in the shade 2, and this does work nice as a brightening pen. So what I like to use this for is I like to brighten the under eye. So I will just take a little bit of that product and go right where I am darkest on my under eye area, and this will just help brighten. This is not a step I would use on a daily basis. So this is something I would do for special occasions. If I'm going out for the night and I want my makeup to be ultra perfected, this is when I would use this type of product. But for me, again, this is not a product I use on a daily basis. It is very beautiful. It does have a thin consistency. It doesn't necessarily require powder to be set down, which is another reason why I like this product. But again, it's not something I use on a daily basis. It's just a nice addition to have in my makeup when I want my makeup to look extra special. So for me, this isn't a must-have. It's just nice for special occasions. Really beautiful product, and this is something I would recommend, again, if you have very light under eye circles, if you don't require much coverage, because this is definitely like a sheer coverage concealer. And yeah, it is nice, but not a must-have for me. Moving back to the face, taking one of my favorite bronzers. Can you see how used this is? I feel like I say this after every video, but actually after this, I need to use my new one. I'm actually going to get it. So I do have a backup to this Chantecaille. This is the real bronze in the shade Sirena. And I do need to just replace this one because honestly, this is really old at this point. It's probably over 2 years old. It is good for 18 months. And this bronzer is fabulous. You can see how used this is. And it is one of my favorite formulas because it is that beautiful Big Chalet formula. So when you feel this powder, it feels very hard pressed into this compact, like almost, it's one of those powders that is not powdery in the slightest. When you dip your brush into this, powder will not fly off. It's very hardly pressed because this actually starts out as a cream and then it is baked into this compact. So it's baked down and it turns into this sort of powder product. So when you apply it onto the skin, you get that ease of application where it applies like a powder product, but it really melts into the skin like a cream product does. It is so skin-like. It has such a creamy quality to it. When you feel it, it does kind of feel a little bit creamy. It's hard to explain unless you've tried out this powder. It has an ever so soft sheen, but it's just because this is a baked gelée powder. It's not because there is actual shimmer inside this powder. It's flawless. I love this powder so much. So the only trick with these sort of powders is that because they are very dense, they're harder to pick up. So you require a dense brush to apply them. So for that, I recommend the Rephr 22 brush, or I recommend the Sony G Pro, which I've been really liking. This is a little bit more precise because this is quite a dense brush. So it's going to be able to pick up that product. So I really enjoy this. And again, it has a light pigmentation, so you kind of need to go in with quite a bit of product to get it to apply to the cheeks, but I still like to get that excess off. And then for bronzer, I do like to just apply it to my forehead. And with this powder, again, I'm not using sweeping motions. I am pressing it into the skin so that that powder looks really beautifully applied on the skin. And this gives me a nice sun-kissed glow, but you can tell this bronzer isn't crazy warm. It's not a red tone bronzer either. It's just a really nice, slightly warm tone bronzer, but it's not orangey in the slightest. It's, I would say, neutral leaning warm, and the shade Sirena works beautifully for me. This is just one of my favorite products of all time. So if you're looking for a really skin-like bronzer that it does really just look like your skin, then I totally recommend this product. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to just take a pencil brush and that same bronzer. I'm just going to run this along the lower lash line as well. You can also apply this to your crease and it will just really create a beautiful look where all your products just kind of blend together beautifully because we're using that bronzer on the face and the eyes as well. So I really like those kind of monochromatic looks. They just tie in together. It just ties the look together very beautifully. All right, I accidentally deleted the video where I applied the highlighter and blush, so I'm gonna quickly go over that. So I used this Chantecaille. This is the Clap Brilliant Face Powder. So this was actually a holiday collection that was released, I think it was in 2020 or 2019, but I absolutely love this highlighter. A lot of you guys asked about my opinion on the Precious Metals collection. I decided not to pick up that highlighter because it honestly looks identical to this highlighter, and I love it. It is so beautiful. If you are on the market for a new highlighter, I do recommend the one from their Precious Metals collection. I'm pretty sure they're the same highlighter, but it's really beautiful because it's an intense highlighter, but it's a big chalet, so it really melts into the skin. I'll apply it again because you missed out, but I just use this soft brush, or this little brush, and I just buff it into the skin, and truly, it looks like your skin is glowing. It's definitely intense, so I like to use this not on an everyday basis. This is something I pull out specifically for like holiday parties or going out for dinner. I use it on special occasions because it is so beautiful. It really does melt into the skin and just gives your skin a gorgeous, gorgeous glow. So I love that. And for the blush, I use the shade Gray. So this is just a really beautiful, again, I'll go in with a little bit more product. So I like to pick it up. This is a Ray Morris, just Deluxe Kabuki. And I like to just press it into the skin. And this is just a beautiful neutral tone blush. These powders are extremely, extremely, extremely finely milled. So you need to be careful with them because they do break very, very easily. But they're just a gorgeous, flattering finish. They are more on the matte side, so they don't offer any sheen. They're just a really great, typical powder formula blush. You don't need any specific brush. And it really reminds me of the shade from Valentina, the Poudre shade. The Valentina is a different formula though, but these shades are very, very similar. So it's a very beautiful neutral tone blush. And then I did talk about the Perfect Blur. This is the Lotus, the Perfect Blur Glow Powder. This was released last year. I picked up a backup of this. I love it. This is a must-have for makeup application. So you go in with this powder, you take the excess off, and you just go, you buff over everything. You go over all the edges of your makeup, and doing this with this powder, it just ensures that all your powders are melded and blended in together, so there's not a harsh line from where your blush starts, your bronzer starts, your highlighter stops. This melds it all together so that it looks seamless. So it looks like it's just one, instead of it being like, wow, you've applied a bronzer and a blush and a highlighter and I can see it in patches on your face. This just ensures it's all beautifully buffed together so that you can't detect those harsh lines from where one product begins and one product ends. And this is beautiful as well because it offers your skin a beautiful glow, but it does blur the skin. Like my skin on the outskirts where I've applied that, it looks filtered, it looks blurred, it looks perfected, but it doesn't look like I've applied a powder. It is just beautiful and seamless. But that is the makeup complete. Now I did want to go over just my top products that I recommend because obviously you're not going to pick up a full face of all the products that I just used on my face. So I want to go over my top products. I tried to narrow it down to a top 3, but honestly, it's too hard with Chantecaille. So I'm going to just list my top products. I'm going to start out with the Chantecaille Luminescent Eye Shade. Gorgeous. You must pick up this eyeshadow in just at least one color that speaks to you because this formula is just truly, there's nothing comparable to it, even though you feel like there would be, but it's just so beautiful. It's multi-dimensional. It's so beautiful on the eyes. I use it all the time. This is just my perfect one and done eyeshadow, specifically for a more special occasion, just because it's so dynamic, it's so beautiful, it's so sophisticated and elegant. And then for an everyday eyeshadow, this is a must-have for me, the Chantecaille Mermaid Eye Color in the shade Copper, because it's so beautiful. It's like a subtle shimmer that's not too intense, so I love to use this on a daily basis. This is my mom's favorite one and done eyeshadow as well. Just gorgeous. It's again very elegant and sophisticated, especially on an everyday basis. And I just love mixing them together. It's gorgeous. This bronzer is a must-have for me as well because this formula is just truly so unique. You don't see it a lot, this Big Chalet, and just how it looks on the skin. It truly looks so skin-like. It just melds into your skin. It's beautiful. I absolutely love this product. And then another must-have for me is the anti-aging face tint. Now this is currently out of stock. Hopefully it comes back into stock, but I do want to just put out into the universe that I really hope they release this in different shades. It would be really beautiful if they released some darker shades so that deeper complected people could use this as well. And lighter shades, so very fair people could use this because it is quite a warm tone bronzer. And I think that not everyone can use this. It would also be really nice if they release this in skin tone shades so that you could use this as a foundation replacement, because truly how this blurs and filters your skin is so gorgeous. I don't even think I'd use foundation if they release this in skin tone shades. That's how much I love it. And this is a product I'm almost done with, and I need to get a backup because I don't want to be without this. I love to mix it in with foundations to darken them a little bit. I love to use this on its own as like a filtered blurred product. Works great as a primer, works great on as a bronzer on top of makeup. Just, it's phenomenal. Another must-have for me is the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. I can't even count how many I bought in the past. Truly the most beautiful skin-like finish foundation. It truly looks like your skin, but better. It is so beautiful, and just how it dries down onto the skin, because it doesn't look ultra hydrating, but it's also not ultra matte either. It just lies beautifully in the middle and just makes your skin look even better. It's so good. And then a final must-have product. I tried to keep it again to like a 3 or 5, but that's fine. Another must-have product is the Lip Cheeks. I love the shade, specifically Patience. That's my absolute #1 shade. They're just comfortable on the lips. They're hydrating. They're not over the top. They're really easy to touch up with. You don't even need to look in a mirror. Truly phenomenal products. So honestly, everything from Chantecaille is beautiful. Just some of them aren't like holy grail products, but I love to have them all in my collection. And I hope this Get Ready With Me video helped you out and helped you decide what you're going to pick up for the sale. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to use the code LISA25 for your 25% discount and early access for you that starts on November 19th. I'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite Chantecaille products, and what are you planning to pick up from the sale? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.